Hello, 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 good people. Hello, good people. It is Thoughtful Thursday. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's perspective for Thoughtful Thursday, October 17th, well past the midway mark of the month. Okay, so for those who are new to me and new to the perspective, on Thursdays, I do a book review or introduce a podcast to you or something that will leave you better. That is the prayer, that is the plea. And so it is Thoughtful Thursday, and I have chosen Leadership by the Book. And it has three authors: Kim Blanchard, Bill Hybels, and Phil Hodges. So the whole story is it's a fable. Good morning for all who are jumping on with me. It's a fable written by, or not written by, but it's told by its three main characters: a minister, a professor, and a businessman. And they're all great friends. And the businessman has had a heart attack because the stress has taken him out. He's on Wall Street, marriage falling apart, kids don't know the kids, and real life for many. And so his friends come in, and the whole premise behind the book is, okay, well, Kim Blanchard, you may be familiar with him for 1 Minute Manager book series, and Bill Hybels is a pastor of a very successful church in suburban Chicago area, and then Phil Hodges is in the business world. The reason I first of all, I like practicality. Give me the research, make sure it's founded on something other than just your thoughts. But when it is practical and relevant and you can walk it out, I mean, this is like a toolkit. You can pick up a tool, learn how to use it, and then go walk it out. And so Leadership by the Book takes the journey of someone and so many practical steps for men and women in the workplace, men and women of faith. And they tell you up front, men and women of all faiths, okay, are welcome to what they do. Jesus was physically on earth for 3 years, and they say the amount of leadership, awesome, phenomenal leadership lessons that he gave in a 3-year period was just mind blowing. And so Leadership by the Book. Tools to transform your workplace. So they just go in there and use Jesus as a phenomenal leadership model in ways that you typically have not thought of. So yes, they talk a lot about servant leadership, but it's in a story. Again, it's three friends meeting together when one of them is not doing well at a certain point of his life. Okay, so one part that I wanted to bring out to you, they were talking about, just listen to this. I thought it's powerful if you apply it. So they were talking about people who are leaders first as opposed to people who are servants first. And we hear that terminology. I'm talking about Leadership by the Book. It is this Thoughtful Thursday selection. And good morning for all who are jumping on. So we talk about servant leaders and doing what's right for the people, but he makes a very distinct point that people who are leaders first are too often those who naturally try to control, how to make decisions. They naturally give orders. They're driven to lead, and they want to be in charge. Leaders who are servants first will assume leadership only if they see it as the best way they can serve. They're called to lead rather than driven. And they don't have a need to hold on to the leader's role or position if it doesn't make sense. They will share the position. They will give up the position if it makes more sense for someone else to come in. So we really need to check. And I'm talking to leaders out there again, whether you hold a title, whether you hold a position, whether your bank account reflects you are the manager, the director. We have a role to play in this, and part of the role is to make sure that we are checking our ego at the door. If we're not doing what is best for those that you're leading, your classroom that you're leading, your family that you're leading, the team that you're leading, okay, so we probably don't need to be so quick to talk about, oh, I'm a servant leader and I love all. Okay, so let's just be conscious of that. And I say let's as in Hollie Kelly too. Okay, there was one part that I thought was so good. Holly, I thought you marked it. They talk about, you know how you go into an A meeting and they have the 12 steps, a 12-step program. Oh, Hollie Kelly. So there's a 12-step program that they were saying that they wanted to create for leaders who are choosing to, Hollie Kelly, for leaders who are choosing to lead from a servant perspective, and if they wanted to model Jesus. You know, we have a misconception of Jesus as being pure baby Jesus, and he just stayed a little baby, sweet and meek as a lamb. Okay, well, Jesus was a leader extraordinaire. Now I am not okay. I'm doing 550 on the time. They talk about iron sharpening iron, but how that looks in relationship and the need to be in relationship and be held accountable by someone, at least one person. Then there's a need for that. It's not just a nice to have. I promise you, not only is my book all marked up, it's got sticky pads hanging out of it. I'm okay. Now I'm really not going to move until I find you these 12 commandments. It talks about guarding not just people's behavior. You have to impact their mind and their heart before you see consistency or consistent change in behavior. And sometimes we go straight for the behavior. Well, anytime you impact a behavior first and only, it's not going to be sustained if you haven't impacted what's going on in here, and more importantly, the heart. I don't know who's sending me love, but thank you. Okay, so here's my 12 steps to faith walk leadership. I'm not going to read all 12 of them, but you know how 12 steps is based on that. I admit that on more than one occasion, I have allowed my ego needs and drive for earthly success to impact my role as a leader, and that my leadership has not been the servant leadership that Jesus modeled. Okay, if we're going to get real and honest with ourselves, that takes a mirror, a very hard mirror looking back at you to admit that you've been on your own reputation platform for a while, and maybe not even for a while, but when you recognize, when you do self-assessment, you can see when I'm managing my reputation more than I'm managing, more than I'm leading the team that I've been blessed to serve. Okay, another 12 steps. I've admitted to God, myself, and to at least one other person the exact nature of my leadership gaps when I behave in ways that do not make Jesus proud. Okay, so we're talking about those of us who have decided and committed to model ourselves after one of the best. We tell me, oh, I study leadership and I love, okay, one of the best leaders, bar none. If we're going to model ourselves after that, then we need to admit to God, ourselves, and someone else. I've made direct amends to such people whenever possible, unless doing so would injure them. Okay, so we're not perfect. And sometimes we need to open that and just flat out admit it to people instead of allowing people to believe that we walk in some kind of special bubble. That's a lie, and I'm not going to let you believe that lie. Not about me, because that's not going to work very well. So again, and it's not a very long book at all. See, it's written in such an easy reading manner because it's telling a story. Two friends have gathered together, professor and a minister, to help their friend who had this heart attack during the recoup process, and now is getting ready to go back into that jungle. He's got to go back different. And so his friends come and give him tools to transform your workplace. And your workplace can be your classroom. Your workplace can be your family. Your workplace can be your marriage, because we lead in a marriage too. Lead ourselves if no one else. So this is this week's Thoughtful Thursday selection. Really easy, but good, solid read. Leadership by the book. How do we do these things? I don't want to have to lay down my values and my principles to go into the workforce. and we don't have to. Let's figure out how to do that. Okay, that is my selection for the week. Thank you for joining me. Make it a thoughtful Thursday. And until next time, take real good care of yourselves.